Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trading Room. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is the 9 EMA strategy workshop. Today, I'm going to show you how to get this thing lined up and ready to rock and roll for you on your MT5 platform. We're going to talk a little bit about where our stop losses and profit targets should be. And then we're going to do some live trading. Actually, we just executed a live trade just a second ago over on your MT5. You can see with our built-in EA, we got a buy signal right there. That's what the gold triangle signifies. We had a situation where we were in oversold territory. We got a crossover there and now a bid. So right now, we've sort of got a trade that is live right here. And as far as our stop loss goes, we have a couple of options. We could play it really tight for a scalp potentially. We could play it beneath this daily low and look for the price to rotate maybe up towards the top of price action. It really is up to you on how you exactly monitor and execute these trades. I did do some work. I've done some work. I've gone deep on exactly what it's going to take to jam home a lot of the concepts of this strategy, show you exactly what it is and how it can really benefit you and what it's going to take to succeed trading something like the 9 EMA. Now, this was one of our most popular strategies over on the How to Trade YouTube channel. Go ahead and check that one out. I'm going to go ahead and I'll pull up some of the basics of this strategy, but I wanted to start off with a trade here that really is based on price action of the Euro USD. So lots of different ways to execute. For me, let's go ahead and put this one really tight. Let's play beneath that area right there. Let's bring this down to say, I don't know, about a 1-to-1 risk versus reward and see if we can't make a little bit of money. Very slow time to be trading the euro, but the time frame, the duration of chart isn't bad. And I'm going to give you a few tips and pointers on how you can improve your performance on this strategy if you're already trading it. So it's good to see everybody back in the trading room. Good to see you, Tina Jing. Welcome. Jason, what's up? What's up, Jason? Let me see Babs. Hi, Shane. Trump didn't move the markets today. Yeah, that's rare, isn't it? We did see a major draw on WTI crude oil, though, that really 9 million barrel draw on WTI supplies. We'll talk more about crude oil tomorrow. Been a tough day to trade crude, though, really. Sort of disjointed price action. We had that holiday Monday that delayed the report, the EIA inventories report. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Remember, if you want to join us daily on our live streams, be sure to tune in to Switch Markets YouTube, How to Trade YouTube, Forex Signals TV, pretty much anywhere. And also my X account, Shane_V_Trader. You can check out the live streams there as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get on with it. Remember, if you want to get set up with this 9 EMA strategy, courtesy of Switch Markets, just head on over to the strategy page. I haven't put it in the live chat, and we've got really just a beautiful little tutorial there for you. I'll show you exactly how to install. Just go ahead and click that video. Right there, enter your email address, click Unlock Strategy Pack, and what you'll get is a little bit of a zip file in your download. Go ahead and open up that zip, and you'll see that we have a PDF in there for you. We've also got all sorts of tips for how to trade it in that PDF, that PDF. But the big thing we have is we have an EA in there for you that you can really incorporate right into your trading. So we've got the Strategy Finder EA. I show you exactly how to add it to your platform and get it up and running. And then towards the bottom of this page, you'll see that we have a full video there. See the strategy in action, and I show you exactly how to trade it step by step in just about 8 minutes. So a lot going on there with the 9 EMA. If you're interested in any of this stuff, feel free to check some of those materials out. Okay, let's see. Andrew Garwell, good to see you. Hi, Shane. The Euro USD bounced from the weekly 13 EMA. It was a very nice trade. Very nice trade. I'm a big fan of the 13 EMA. That's my favorite, my own personal favorite. Today we're going to talk 9 EMAs. Sort of an interesting day, a trading day, though. Not really too huge from what I've seen with regards to real volatility during the U.S. session. WTI crude, we may get a trade in about the next hour and a half, but I haven't had a trade yet today. I just missed my top side range numbers, and that's okay. We're still sitting up there right around, 67? So we're up there somewhere with a nice selling opportunity. So we'll see exactly how this develops in the next 90 minutes. Don't have much time left in the trading day, though. It's been sort of a hit and miss day for me. Pretty good week, though. All in all, not bad at all. No, so, yeah, good observation, Andrew. Yeah, Euro USD, I've been all over today watching very, very closely. We had a pretty good early day trade there, but it hasn't been that good later on, and that's okay. Remember, Thursdays are a big day for us. Friday, not so much, but I think that we're going to have an opportunity potentially to make a few bucks before the weekly closing bell, and then we're back into weekend action. Okay, so this is the 9 EMA trading strategy, and of course, we're having some technical issues right away. That's about right. You'll have to bear with me here. It's about, let's see, about negative 16 degrees Celsius and it's about, 8 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere in that zone. Well, between 0 and 8. When it gets really cold at this elevation, all the electronics just starts freaking out every time. It's static electricity touching everything. This microphone will probably shock me a couple times, but that's just sort of the way that it is when it's this dry and this cold. So if you'll bear with me, if we have any technical issues, I'd sure appreciate it. All right, so you see the 9 EMA trading strategy. That's sort of the thumbnail for our big video over there on how to trade on YouTube. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to set up the 9 EMA, and then we're going to do some trade executions. We've already executed a trade. The stop loss and profit target locations are going to be something we're going to talk a lot about, and I'm going to show you how to do all this on your MT5. I also have a trading view illustration that I do want to show you as well. We're also going to add the relative strength index, which is going to be our confirmation device. If you're not familiar with RSI, we'll get you up to speed on that as well. And then right here, this is just sort of a quick and dirty way of understanding the strategy. You got a 9 EMA. You're in overbought territory, which means you're right up above 70 on the RSI, and you're looking for a bearish close beneath that 9 EMA, and then you're going to sell the market, and it's just the opposite for a buy. And we'll run through those in real time. So the number one question I always get with this strategy, by far, and then we're going to go through and set it up for you on the different platforms. But the number one thing that I get every single time, is it dependable? Is it reliable? What's your win-loss? What's your percentages? And I always say that it's going to depend. It's going to depend on how you execute trades. And I catch a lot of flack for that. A lot of folks say, Shane, what are you doing? You're just dodging the question. I said, no, I'm not really dodging the question. What I'm doing is sort of putting the ball back in your court as a trader. I mean, no matter what you're trading, 9 EMA, market profile, orb strategies, whatever, you're going to have to take ownership of your trading. And your profitability is going to be dependent on how you handle your trades. Now, I can show you where to put stop losses, and I can give you ideas on maybe conservative profit targets and maybe bigger profit targets. But ultimately, your success is going to hinge on your ability to manage trades and manage your risk in real time. Now, I'm going to show you this next graphic, and I don't want anybody to get super excited. I'm not saying that past performance is indicative of future results, but I'm going to show you a few things that you need to think about before you start executing this strategy. Now, this is very much in the beta. I'm not done working on it yet, but here we go. So this is TradingView. You can see over on your TradingView platform. We have the ability to code, and what AI has done for us with our coding ability, mine personally, I am not a computer whiz. I'm not, and I sat down and I'm actually able to code things that function and that work, and that's just ChatGPT plus. And just understanding what questions I need to ask as a trader to build this type of code. Look at this code. This is serious business. I mean, I look at this stuff and I go, man, I cannot believe that with the help of AI, I could just put something like this together. So you're saying, Shane, what does the code, what is it? Well, it's a 9 EMA plus RSI window, right? Overlap. And then we've also got it built into a clean strategy. And the reason why we would build this into a strategy for this particular demonstration is because I want to show you some back-tested results. Now, we're going to start out with a few disclaimers. Number one, past performance does not guarantee future results. Number two, you can see that what we were able to program, what I was able to program with the AI, was all these different filters we can incorporate into our back testing. So right here, we're going to focus on the London US overlap. That's one of my main filters. We're also going to use a pip size of about 10 ticks, which is probably what you're going to have to use for your Forex pairs. Something like that is a fractional pip, and you guys understand that 10 fractionals make a whole pip. In any case, we're doing things based on fractional pips. We've got a stop buffer, which is, I'm going to show you the stop loss locations as well, and then you've got all sorts of different things that you can work with there. So that basically is the crux of the filter. Now, I put it on the Great Britain pound US dollar, and I focused on the 9 EMA's performance for that London US overlap. So you can see right here, we had a bit of an issue. This was a losing trade, actually a great example of a losing trade. You see right there, there was our signal. Our signal popped up. There was our break. RSI's oversold. We looked to buy. Well, we ended up getting stopped out after we made a little bit of money. So let's go back to our properties here on our basically our scanner. Now, one of the big things that I wanted to really point out to you guys and what the crux of trading this is, now we haven't even talked about how to set it up or execute trades yet, but I want everybody to understand this before I go any further at all. because I get this question repeatedly, and I talk to many of you that are good traders that are making money. It's like watching success stories. People show up to these streams every day, and I know it has nothing to do really with the streams. It has to do with your desire and your drive and your ability to really stick to this and try to understand the markets from a broader perspective. That's where your success is going to come from. It's not going to be a 9 EMA strategy, or it's not going to be listening to me or Fibonacci retracements or any of it. Here's what you're always going to have to understand. Risk versus reward. It is everything. It is everything. Now, the results I'm going to show you are based on a 1-to-2 risk versus reward. Not really my cup of tea. I like it a little tighter than that, but you see that RR preset? We put it in there at 1-to-2. Okay, let's go ahead and click OK. Now we're going to go ahead and cursor up and show you some of the performance. This is the performance on this 1-to-1, or excuse me, 1-to-2 ratio, 9 EMA strategy during the London US session. This is on a very, very basic, lot sizes. We're not doing anything with regards to trailing stops, scaling in, scaling out, any of it. What you have here, going back to January 1st, 2024, so you've got a few years there. You've got 114 total trades on a 30-minute chart in that window with a 1-to-2. A 1-to-2 risk versus reward means you only have to win, 32% of the time, something like that, to be a profitable trader. So right there, you got total P&L, you've got a profit factor, you've got a winning strategy on paper. Now, the reason why I don't get too excited about that stuff is because I genuinely don't care. I said, okay, great. Well, 114 trades, and what do we have there? About 2 years, just over 2 years, 24 months. That's not very much. 24 months, what is that, 5 trades a month, something like that? Well, think about it along these terms. That is with very small position sizes. I believe it was a lot, maybe one lot or a micro lot, whatever. 1-to-2 risk versus reward during a very small period of time each day, 3.5 hours each day, London US overlap on one market. Now, where this gets fun, where this back testing gets fun, is where you start putting this on a bunch of different markets that are uncorrelated, and you start to see similar results. Now, I'm not there yet. We're still very much in the beta of building the code and understanding what some of these results can do. Now, I'm not selling this as a winning strategy, even though over the last 2 years, yeah, it was pretty good. But we haven't even talked about what it is to diagnose exactly how many losers in a row you had and how deep this got into the red before you rebounded and made it a nice strategy. The variance of returns, that's all very complex stuff. So there will come a time when we put out a specific strategy tester. You know, maybe for the 9 EMA, we're planning on maybe doing something with the 920 crossover, maybe the orb. Stuff like this is the future of trading, 100%. So let's go ahead and knock this down a little bit. Let's do a little bit of manipulation, and then we're going to get on to the strategy. But I want to show you exactly what's possible. Let's take this Great Britain Pound USD down to a 1-minute chart. Okay, what does it all mean? More money. Okay, now you're up 2,251 total trades, 43% profitable. Now our 1-to-2 risk versus reward is based on our stop loss juncture +2, right? So my stop loss is tight, and we're getting those 1-to-2 moves. Take a look at what you have there. 43% profitable. Now we're starting to feel pretty good about it. Now the only thing is you've got a couple fewer trades, and because why? That was from the last month of action, January 25th, not even the last month, about the last 3 weeks, January 25th, 2026 to February 19th. You guys are starting to see the power of this now. Now, the reason why I would show you something like this is not to convince you. I don't want your money. This stuff is not for sale. I'm not interested in being a signal provider. But I want you to understand how the numbers have to work for you to make any of this go. When I take a 9 EMA trade on a live stream, undoubtedly somebody goes, well, that was a loser. Well, that was a loser. If you're going to trade with a strategy, you've got to craft it into a body of work, not just one trade. If you guys want to do one trades and judge me on one trade basis or whatever, I will sit here and call out my key numbers, and we will trade futures all day, and I'll show you how to be profitable pretty much every day out. I have no problem doing that. But what we're looking at here is not a pathway to $1 million. It's not a pathway to 10 million or 20 million. This is a way that you can start looking at the markets using your own intellect and your own power. You have the power of AI at your hands. I didn't build this. We started with an idea. We started refining it. I knew eventually what? London US overlap. That's when I want to be trading, especially on short time frames. I know where I want my stop loss, and I know where I want my profit targets. I know that. I know which pairs I want to focus on. I've got my strategy. From there, it's just a matter of you guys being able to build these things for yourself, and you can do it. You go over to your Pine script, you go to work with ChatGPT, you go back and forth and troubleshoot it. That is it. That is it. Now, I'm going to show you how to do the 9 EMA from here on in, but you could honestly, the opportunities are endless. Something like this, I start to get very excited about. 51 total trades in about 3 weeks, 1 minute chart. I mean, that is, and here's the other thing. Look at the drawdowns. Nothing. Interesting stuff. One last thing I'm going to say. As far as my personality goes, you got the risk versus, RR preset. Let's take this up to a 1 to 5. There's a lot of hustlers out there that are going to show you 1 to 5s are the king to the kingdom, right? The key to the kingdom. All they do is steepen you out. That's it. You can see right there, it's a loser. Why do you think that's a loser on maybe a 1 minute chart? Because you're not getting that kind of movement to warrant those big risk versus rewards. So I want everybody to understand that. I'm not really throwing shade on the rest of this industry, but what I'm really saying is, listen, those 1 to 5s, 5 minute chart, what happens? Your stop loss, your loss is too big. You're not getting enough winners. You're only winning 5% of the time. When you take a look at something like this, 55 total trades, and you notice you only have 3 out of 55 are winners, what do you think the best thing for you to do is? A, don't look for moves where there are none. Or B, maybe play against the system completely and put your profit target up here and use that as your stop loss. Just flip the idea. That's how you use this. That's how you get value out of this. You don't go to a signal provider and go, oh, show me a winning system. Because they will manipulate these numbers and they will absolutely convince you that something is there that isn't. And what I'm trying to do with this 9 EMA and what we're trying to do at How to Trade and Switch isn't just, okay, here's how you need to trade. It's about breaking down a strategy. It's about understanding exactly what goes into winning in the markets and show you exactly the questions you need to be asking before you plop down your next 5,000 or the 3,500 or 2,500 for a signal provider. They're going to show you back-tested data. It can all be manipulated. What you have to do is understand, okay, what's my drawdown? What's my maximum number of losers in a row? What's my sweet spot with my risk versus reward? And what we're trying to build here, and what I'm trying to build here, is a way for us to be able to do that maybe on MT5, like I was just doing that on TradingView, where you really get to see the beauty of a strategy. And guess what, guys? The bad ideas are the ones that are like 50-50 that win sometimes and lose sometimes. You find one that wins all the time or you find one that loses all the time. It's the same level of gold. It's all gold. You're just looking for tendencies. All right, I want to get started with that before we actually get in to start trading this thing. I knew I was going to get a lot of questions on that. Let me see. Tina, that's amazing. Trade with a prop fund. Only 25% winning rate can still make a decent living. You trade when you're asleep, so it doesn't matter where you live. That's fantastic. Let me see. Babgees, how does it work with indices on the 1 minute? Well, I'm working on it. There's some programming issues there, Bab, that I have to look into. But basically, I'm trying to translate that. What's been built for for TradingView, which I built. I'm trying to translate that over to MT5 so we can get that out to you maybe as an EA. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to make sure that we can deliver some value to people with things that they can actually use. Okay, let's get on over to our MT5 platform and sort of run through exactly how to do this. Now, clearly we're winning. That typically we win a lot, and the price goes in our direction often. We had a couple yesterday that I posted late in the day that we took on the gold market that was big, robust, beautiful moves, and then we just didn't quite get any follow through to our profit target. So this is a good example of a live trade. All right, let's go ahead and get you set up here. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new chart. So the first thing you're going to want to do is check the video out on our How to Trade page, or on that Switch Markets page. I'll show you right now. What you're going to want to do is head to this page. I've dropped the links in the live chat there repeatedly, and then also in the How to Trade community. Head on over here, enter your email address, click Unlock Strategy Pack, and what you're going to get in your download, it's going to be a download for a zip file. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open that zip file up, and you're going to translate those files. Now, let me see here. Let's see if I can just do it for you live, I suppose. What you're going to have here, boom, Unlock Strategy Pack. Let's go right here. Right here, you're going to get a little pop-up. It's behind my window here, and you're going to go ahead and get basically your folder to open up. It's in your downloads. You're going to have the fully functional 9 EMA RSI EA, which I built. Works pretty well. That one right there. And then you're also going to have a PDF The PDF format's going to show you everything that you need to know here and everything that the 9 EMA can bring you. All right, so that right there, it really is the big deal. The 9 EMA, now when you have this, what you're going to have to do is drag and drop. So what you do is you'd have that folder open. You'd go over here to File. You'd go to Open Data folder. Go right here to your MQL5 language. Open that up. Go to Experts. Experts, you go to Advisors, and then you're going to go ahead and just drag and drop. As you can see right here, I've got my 9 EMA already in. So you drag that from your let's see, your download folders, wherever that may be. I don't even know where it is yet. Okay, so right here, be something like this. You would drag and drop right into that folder and then close out of everything, and you should be in pretty good shape. So let's go ahead and X there and X there, and it should show up in your advisor. So what you're going to do always here is click on that, right-click on Expert Advisors inside of your navigator, go ahead and hit refresh, and it'll populate that on the list. If it does not populate, exit out of MT5 and then reopen it. That's all there is to it. That's how you troubleshoot MT5. You always close it down and then reopen it. All right. So from here, let's go ahead and close out. Well, we won't close our navigator just yet. Let's go ahead and add this one to a new chart. Now let's go new chart. Let's go right here. Let's go. Everybody loves silver, right? So let's open up a new silver chart. For me personally, I am awfully fond of the white backgrounds. But if you use whatever background you'd like. There it is. Hit OK. And then what you're going to do right here under your advisors, your expert advisor, your 9 EMA RSI, you're just going to drag and drop that on. The pop-up button, be sure that algo trading is ticked right here or ticked right here. Hit OK. And you'll notice that the RSI and the 9 EMA are plotted on the chart. And then you can see these big purple carrots are sells and the gold carrots are buys. They're triangles. I call them carrots, just an old habit there. Something to think about. So any time frame that you would like, you just go ahead and dial it down, and that sets you up potentially for a trade. Now, remember, our trade rules are simple. All it is when we're beneath this area right here, when we're beneath 30 on our RSI, we're looking to buy the market on a bullish crossover above the 9 EMA. So that right there would have been a buy signal in silver, and you're still long. Now, let's go back to the trade that we have live. That's exactly what happened here. We were in oversold territory. The market sort of rallied. We had a lot of chop here, and then we broke, and then we rallied, right? So right there's your bullish close. That's where your signal is going to pop up, and or your setup, excuse me. It's not a signal. Your setup right here, and then you're going to go ahead and buy the market right after that bar close. Now, here's the thing about doing this in real time. You don't have to necessarily just buy the market. You can wait. You can wait for a retracement. You can wait for a test of the 9 EMA and go long from the 9 EMA. It happens almost every time. But what I want to make sure that everybody understands is the idea is when we get the crossover, that's when we want to be long. If you want to be fine with it, if you want to wait till it retraces against you, be my guest. Now, your stop loss locations are what's going to make this thing purr. It really is. It's what's going to make it hum. And going back to sort of our strategy, let's go ahead and see what exactly. A lot of times these aren't, it won't plot the historical data if you're like on a 1 minute. It's too many signals. That's okay. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. But right here, you can see, okay, there was your long, there was your signal, and there was your long for this Great Britain pound trade. Where was your stop out? Stop out's right there, -5 ticks. So right there would have been our stop out. So there was your swing low, which would have corresponded with the oversold territory in the RSI. The low there is 134.95, okay, something like that. And then right there, you can see that's where it exited us in the trade. So lots of questions on how to really, what is the absolute best way to execute this trade. This trade right here, it was a loser, all right? No question about it. It was an absolute loser. It was the last trade setup we had. What were we looking for a profit target? Well, we were looking for what, about a 1 to 2, something like that. Interesting. Maybe if we were a little more conservative, we would hit our profit target before the market reversed. Maybe we could move our stop loss to break even at some point. Now, believe it or not, you can program all of those things into this platform. It's just going to take a while. It's fascinating stuff. And what you can really do with the AI blows me away. In a perfect world, I would love to see folks get up to speed with the 9 EMA and not really just say, okay, Shane, to get in there and build us something, build us some EAs and things that'll work, and actually just use your imagination. Say, okay, when I get a trade early in the session, how often do these trades go profitable? Now, we showed you the numbers on the 1 to 4s, 1 to 5s. There was only 5 winners out of 55 setups, right? Before you got chopped out. It's almost guaranteed you lose before you win. Okay, great. How many of those trades actually go positive? Does every single one of those trades go positive? If that's the case, then maybe you're better off just scalping little bumps off the 9 EMA. Something like this. We're already there. We're up $40. We only traded one lot on this Euro USD. We're getting a nice little rally in what is a dead market. We finally broke. Now we're headed north. Is it worth it? Maybe the numbers tell me to take the money off the chart. Now remember, the numbers I just showed you are based on a stop loss that's down here beneath this swing low, or 7-bar swing low, right? How about that? What is the profit? What happens to profitability when we put the stop loss right beneath the signal bar? I don't know. It's all got to be built. My point is this. The 9 EMA is a great jumping off point for you. I'm very happy that this trade came along so we could show you a real live execution in the market. I think it's fantastic. All right, let's go back over to our silver market. You can see we don't have any trades brewing here. 1 minute chart. We are right in the middle of that RSI envelope, 70 and 30. We don't have a trade. We don't have any trades at all. How about Bitcoin? Bitcoin's fascinating, isn't it? 15-minute chart right there for Bitcoin. Nice big gold carrot. You can see we closed right above that 9 EMA, and then that was the buy signal. It's been a pretty good trade. It's been a pretty good trade right there in Bitcoin. Very, very nice market. We've had some pretty good success trading the 9 EMA on Bitcoin. 5-minute chart, not really a whole lot going on. You got swept out here. All right, that happens. 5-minute chart, your risk isn't that big. Haven't really got another trading signal yet today on the 5-minute chart. 1-minute chart for Bitcoin. Beautiful trade. As long as you didn't play it too tight, you gave it that swing low, you caught the move on a 1-minute. You caught this move right here too. Boom. Fascinating stuff. All right. Let's see if we have any questions over there in YouTube land. There's a couple of hot tips I'm going to give you. Let's see. Bob G's. How does it work on the indices on the 1 minute? I don't have any back-tested data for you, but you can certainly trade this strategy on the 1 minute. Let's go to File. Let's go to New Chart. Let's go to Shares. Well, I don't want Amazon. Let's go to I don't even have any indices up, do I, on this platform? Let's go US 30. Let's put it on the US 30 and see what happens. Okay, so we got the US 30. Let's go chart window. Okay, here's your new chart for the US 30. We go right here. Let's change the colors. I'm partial to working on white, color on white. Something like this. All right, and then it's behind my picture, but it's just a simple drag and drop of the 9 EMA. Make sure algo is clicked. Hit OK. Now you're up and running. So 1 hour chart. I'm not really interested in a 1 hour chart for the U.S. session. There you have it. Bid, loser 1 minute. Pretty good move right there. I'd say that's probably a winner. And then right here, you didn't quite get another trade, as that's right at 30.65. So we didn't get the bid coming back around. 5-minute chart. Nothing. We're inside of the envelope all day long. 15-minute chart. Right there. Interesting. What about the time? Is that the right time to be doing it? Probably pretty risky. Ahead of the U.S. session, see the volumes kick up? Look at the volume. Right there, that trade, that's what I would call a dummy signal. You don't want it. You want to be trading this when the markets are active. U.S. indices, I would be trading this during the U.S. market hours. So right here on a 15-minute chart, what you have setting up is a potential bottom down here. Maybe we break beneath 30. We have an opportunity maybe to buy and get a signal going in to that buy, or excuse me, going into the close. Could definitely work there. Let's go minute 30, 30-minute chart. That would be the same thing I'd be looking for. Maybe a buyback signal late in the day, or maybe even going into the overnight, but probably don't want to be executing going into the U.S. session. See right here is another great example. You've got the opportunity there maybe to take a sell, but you're going right into the guts of the volume. You don't want that. When volume kicks up, that's when you want to be trading. You don't want to be holding anything going into when the volume is going to be turned on. You don't want that. All right, so that's a pretty good look at the 9 EMA for our tutorial today. If there's no more questions, we'll probably put a pin in it right there. I do have a few hot tips, though, that I want to give you before I sign off here, just to be real honest about what this strategy can do and what it is. Now, I showed you some numbers today. Those are far from complete. Those are far from complete. That was a look at the Great Britain pound during the London U.S. overlap on short time frames. All right, absolutely. It's just the way that it is. That was an optimal place to be trading the Great Britain pound. So let's say you wanted to be a swing trader with the 9 EMA. Is there anything wrong with backing off to a 4-hour chart? No, you're just going to have to reduce your leverage and calculate your swap fees. You're going to have to do that. The sky really is the limit for how you want to use this strategy. There's so many different ways to trade it. At one point, I showed you some stats where it said, yeah, you only won 3 out of 55 setups when you tried to put on a 5x payoff on a 1-minute signal. There may be a way just to flip your entries around and make money consistently. So, I mean, there's a lot going on here that is absolutely fantastic, and it's exciting in one respect because you can see all the different ways where we might be able to get an edge. But trading this type of strategy is going to depend on you. There's no other way around it. You're going to have to figure out a way to generate consistent profits. You can't have the massive drawdowns. You can't be giving back too many profits on winning trades. You're going to have to find a middle ground for yourself and how you can trade psychologically. A few of the hot tips. I highly recommend trading. If you're going to trade this on small time frames, like a 1 minute, a 5 minute, or 15 minute, or 30 minute, I would probably be looking at those more active periods. London session through the end of the U.S. session for Forex pairs, that's a pretty good one. You could probably get that done with like a 30-minute chart would be fantastic. If you want to trade around the clock and be a swing trader, a 4-hour chart on your Forex pairs and your metals is probably a pretty good place to begin. Not a bad place to begin. Pretty good area to begin. If you want to trade this on the U.S. indices or any indices, just know your time frames. Understand that you need to be in there when the volume is there and the volatility is there. That is absolutely imperative. So some tips for success here with the 9 EMA. You're going to want to use time frames that work, meaning don't try to trade a dead market in off hours on a 1-minute time frame. You're going to lose probably almost every time. The market, when it flattens out and it gets choppy, that is the kiss of death for this strategy. It really is. So you need to be trading when the markets are deep and they're volatile. If you don't want to do that and you want to back off and be maybe a swing trader, use the larger time frames. So we trade when the markets are liquid and they're volatile. That's the first tip. The second tip is the smaller you get in granularity, on your charts, meaning 30 minutes down to a 1 minute, the market's going to get choppier. Odds are you're going to have to watch your risk because there's more trades. There's a lot more trades, but they're not necessarily going to all be successful. So I would expect your winning percentage to go down, but I would also expect you to take a lot more trades. That means that the market's going to get choppier. It's going to be harder work. So understand your time frame and what it means to the strategy. And the last thing is always practice proper risk management. I mean, if I was trading a 1-minute chart, according to maybe some of those numbers I just showed you, you're going to want to attack that 1-minute chart where you're going to make a lot of trades, 1 to 3%. 1 to 3%, especially if you put this on 4 or 5 markets and try to target the same periods. You're going to need that margin money, 1 to 3% of your account balance on any given trade. That's what I would highly recommend. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. We wanted to start off, show you how to get this set up. I wanted to show you some of the back-tested data because I got that question just repeatedly about, what's the numbers look like? What are the numbers looking like? What do they look like? Well, we dug into it a little bit. I showed you some results from the last 2 years back to the last 30 days or so. Interesting strategy. I'm definitely interested. I want to build a proper format for that back testing EA. I want to get that built and ready to run on MT5. I just don't know if I'm going to have time. We're going to have to see if we can get into it. All right, everybody, if you have any questions at all, be sure to head on over to howtotrade.com, get your free account there. Send me a private message. I'm sure to answer. If you want to catch just some live streaming and some live analytics, live trading, be sure to check in with us on this channel. We go typically right around 1600 GMT every day, and we'll be back tomorrow with sort of a weekly wrap-up. I'll show you my playbook, my Fibonacci's, my trades, some of my levels, and then we'll talk a little bit about the 9 EMA. Interesting stuff. We just got a couple of more signals that just popped up, and you also see when you get a signal pops up right there. So what do we have here? We've got an EMA RSI. Let me see Bitcoin 1 minute chart. Let's go to Bitcoin. And you see right there, it's a sell, Bitcoin sell. We're a little bit late to the party here, clearly, but there's your sell. So always got to remember your spreads figure into this as well, but the sell should have been right up in there somewhere. But there is your big old sell. Where would your stop loss be? For me, stop loss goes right above there. Yeah, right in there if you pat it a little bit. And then your profit target, maybe a 1-to-1, maybe something like this. Maybe if you want to go for more money, maybe down in here somewhere. All that's up to you. All that is what will build you into a winning trader with something like the 9 EMA. All right, everybody. That's a wrap for me. I'm glad everybody showed up. Good to see you. These tutorials, a lot of folks really love them. Some folks just want to hear some market analysis and things. I'll be back with the normal analytics tomorrow. Let's see. We have a question right here. Ralph H. Do you like the 9 EMA better than the 921 crossover? I'm a fan of the 920 crossover, Ralph, but I see the potential in something like a 9 EMA. There's a couple other ideas that I have with the 9 EMA. I just don't know if we're going to get there. I mean, it's just a matter of 24 hours in a day, you know. Look at this thing that's reversing against us, right? This Bitcoin. But look at all this. Could we build a strategy where maybe the 9 EMA just acts as support or resistance? The answer is yeah, you can. And it may be the best way to trade it. So I like the 920 EMA crossover. I'm a fan of that. I think that if we do another strategy, in the maybe next quarter or maybe later in this year, I'm really going to be pushing for the 920 because I like it a lot. I think that the ability to use the 920 in a swing trading capacity, I put it on stocks. I was looking at it on stocks. And I go, man, this is pretty solid. But, it's all about discipline. How do you trade it? Do you mess with your strategies or what? Systems trading and strategy trading is tough. Don't get caught in the middle. Don't try to be a discretionary trader with a system where you just cherry pick the setups. Have your filters down. When all the criteria is met, you take the trade and you live with the result because our risk management's solid. But to answer your question, Ralph, I like the 920 myself. I'm a fan of the crossover, but this 9 EMA, there's a lot there. There's a lot of meat on the bone there. A lot of different ways to skin a cat that can all be very, very good. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for today. You have a fantastic trading session. Keep one eye on the news feed. We're all watching for news out of Iran, the U.S. Potentially striking Iran in the coming sessions. We're just going to have to wait and see exactly what happens. All right, have a fantastic trading day. Trade the action well, and we'll talk soon. See ya.